Unexpected news. For decades, Ben Shephard has been the embodiment of warmth, professionalism, and effortless charm. From his early days on GMTV to his long-standing role as the beloved host of Tipping Point and co-presenter of Good Morning Britain, Ben has carved out a career that most television presenters could only dream of. He is admired not just for his polished delivery and quick wit, but for his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. Contestants on his game shows often remark that he makes them feel instantly at ease, and colleagues describe him as a true gentleman of television. To the public, Ben Shephard seemed to have it all: a successful career, an enduring smile, and a reputation for being one of the nicest men in British television. But, as with so many public figures, the story behind the scenes was far more complex. Behind the charm and the easy laughter were private battles, pressures that came with years of live broadcasting, the stress of maintaining an impeccable public image, and the quiet weight of wondering whether balance in life was ever truly possible. And then there was Annie, his wife of over 2 decades, the quiet but extraordinary presence who helped him not only find balance, but also gave him the strength to embrace vulnerability in a way he never thought possible. This is the story of how Ben Shephard, television's smiling gentleman, discovered that behind his success lay a deeper truth about love, family, and the courage to share even the most private struggles. Ben Shephard's journey began in the 1990s when television was rapidly evolving. Born in Essex in 1974, Ben grew up with a love of sport, storytelling, and human connection. He was never the loudest in the room, but he had a natural way of making people feel heard, a quality that would later become his trademark as a presenter. When he landed his first presenting roles, Ben stood out. He wasn't trying to be a life-out-of-life television personality. He was genuine. He listened. And in a world where authenticity is often rare, audiences responded immediately. By the early 2000s, Ben had become a familiar face on British television. His appearances on GMTV made him a household name, and his subsequent work on shows like The Extra Factor, Goals on Sunday, and later Tipping Point cemented his place as one of ITV's most versatile stars. But fame, as Ben quickly discovered, was a double-edged sword. Success brought opportunity, but also constant scrutiny. Every word, every smile, every stumble was observed and commented on. Behind closed doors, Ben sometimes wondered if the pressure to be the nice guy of television was sustainable. Ben has always been quick with a laugh, known for his cheeky banter and his ability to make contestants laugh even in high-pressure moments on Tipping Point. But privately, he admitted in interviews over the years that the relentless schedule of television could be draining. Early mornings, late nights, endless travel, it took a toll. And while fans saw the polished presenter, Ben often wrestled with questions about whether he was truly being present in his own life. The world adored him, but in the quieter moments at home, Ben sometimes felt stretched thin, pulled in too many directions. There were times when he worried about missing out on the most important things: family dinners, school events, and the simple joy of sitting quietly with his wife and sons. And it was Annie, his anchor, who helped him see what really mattered. Long before the bright lights of television, Annie Perks, now Annie Shephard, was there. The pair met while studying at Birmingham University, long before Ben became a household name. Unlike so many relationships shaped by fame, theirs was rooted in years of shared history, built on mutual respect and a deep friendship. Annie has always been more than just Ben's wife. She is a remarkable woman in her own right, a successful interior designer who prefers to live outside the limelight. Where Ben is constantly in front of the camera, Annie is the quiet force behind the scenes, steady, thoughtful, and unwavering in her support. What struck Ben most about Annie from the very beginning wasn't just her intelligence or beauty, it was her perspective. She wasn't dazzled by his television career. She cared little for celebrity. Instead, she challenged him to stay grounded, to remember who he was before the fame, and to never lose sight of what really mattered. In a candid conversation years later, Ben admitted that even as his career soared, he wrestled with doubts. He worried about aging in an industry that so often prizes youth and novelty. He worried about whether he was giving enough to his family, and he sometimes questioned whether he had built his life around a career that, while rewarding, often left him emotionally exhausted. Like George Clooney once confessed about hiding behind humor, Ben too leaned on laughter and professionalism as shields. Few people saw the weight he carried, the fear of burnout, the quiet anxiety of trying to live up to a reputation he had never asked for but could never escape. But Annie saw. She always saw. And rather than offering judgment, she offered presence. She reminded him that vulnerability wasn't weakness, that it was okay to share fears, that being the nice guy didn't mean being perfect, it meant being human. Ben has also said that Annie is the reason he has remained grounded despite the highs and lows of television. Their relationship, built before the world knew his name, became his safe haven. Together, they navigated the pressures of fame. Annie's calm steadiness provided balance to the chaos of live television, and Ben's humor and energy kept their relationship filled with laughter. And then came their children, Sam and Jack. Fatherhood, Ben admits, was the great turning point of his life. Suddenly, the early mornings and the studio lights mattered less than the joy of watching his sons grow. School runs, football matches, family dinners, these became the real highlights. Whereas he once might have chased more shows, more fame, more recognition, fatherhood and Annie's quiet wisdom helped Ben reframe everything. Success was no longer about being everywhere. It was about being present. Ben has been open about the compromises he's made. At times, he stepped back from television commitments to focus on family. To the outside world, this may have looked like passing up opportunities, but to Ben, it was about living according to his values. Annie's role in these decisions cannot be overstated. She encouraged him to think long-term, to recognize that careers ebb and flow, but family moments are irreplaceable. Her unwavering belief in him gave him the courage to step away when necessary, confident that his worth was never tied solely to his television presence. It's a lesson that resonates deeply, especially with audiences in their 60s. We know, perhaps more than anyone, that the moments with loved ones are what endure. Ben and Annie Shephard's love story is more than just a celebrity romance. It is a testament to the power of partnership, balance, and the quiet resilience that comes from two people who truly understand each other. Their relationship shows us that success is not defined by red carpets or television ratings. It's defined by the laughter around the dinner table, the conversations late at night, and the willingness to hold each other steady through uncertainty. In Annie, Ben found not just a partner, but a mirror, someone who reflected back his true self even when he felt lost in the whirlwind of fame. And in Ben, Annie found someone who cherished her wisdom and respected her independence, never asking her to step into a spotlight she didn't want. Why does this story matter to us? Because it reminds us that even those we admire most, those who seem to have it all, carry private struggles. It reminds us that love can be transformative, not because it solves all problems, but because it gives us the courage to face them. For Ben Shephard, Annie wasn't just the love of his life. She was his compass, pointing him back to what truly mattered when the world pulled him in 1,000 directions. And perhaps that's the lesson we can all carry with us. It's never too late to embrace balance, to open up about fears, and to recognize that life's greatest victories are found not under studio lights, but in the quiet, ordinary moments we share with those who love us. What do you think about Ben and Annie Shephard's inspiring journey? Does their story resonate with your own experiences of balancing love, family, and the pressures of life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this heartfelt look into the private world of one of Britain's most beloved presenters, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss another story like this. Because behind every smile, there is a story worth telling.